The Mesa Chamber of Commerce Inside Business Podcast brings you a unique view of Mesa through its vibrant business community and the subjects that are important. The podcast is produced in the Mesa Chamber of Commerce Media Studio, sponsored by the University of Phoenix. Our podcast is hosted by Mesa Chamber of Commerce CEO Sally Harrison. Please enjoy this episode of the Mesa Chamber Inside Business Podcast.
All right, good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Mesa Chamber Inside Business Podcast. You might notice that this is a little bit of a weird sounding episode, partially because Sally's not here. I am your surrogate host. I am Bob Nelson, the Chamber, Communications Director for the Mesa Chamber of Commerce. This is a very special episode today. We are going to host our first burrito tasting celebration, I think. Joining me is my co-host for this sequence of insanity, from Goose Digital Marketing, Mr. Dan Baker.
Hello.
So Dan, tell us a little bit about Golden Goose.
Golden Goose Digital Marketing, we're a marketing agency. We handle websites, online advertising, social media. You know, we kind of, whatever your needs are for your online presence, we're there to help you. But as you may realize, we are also breakfast burrito aficionados.
Yes.
That's why we are here.
Yes. So, also joining us today, because this is the episode where we are tasting his breakfast burrito, is Mr. Craig Boats.
Morning, Bob.
Craig, you are the owner of Renegade. Is that correct?
No, technically it's not. My wife owns it. I just work here.
Oh, so you are the number one employee then?
2 or 3, maybe 4 on some days. Just kind of depends.
She's got a list, and you change it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Depends on what I did
Right.
the day before.
So it's a honey-do list is what you're telling me.
Pretty much.
Okay, all right. So, Craig, tell us real quick. Tell us about the history of Renegade.
Well, Renegade started, 4 years and about 4 days ago in Scottsdale. Was our first
that's
shop.
cool. Happy anniversary.
Yeah, as I thought about it, I'm like, hey, wait a second. That was just, technically it's 4 years and 7 days ago as I actually do as I redo the math in my head. So, yeah, just over 4 years ago, we bought an existing coffee shop in Scottsdale. Sorry, we're in Mesa today. I bounce around a lot, so sometimes my brain doesn't work very well. But so we bought the shop in Scottsdale. It's on Granite Reef and McDonald. It had been there for a few years, but it had, kind of started the struggle a little bit. So we bought that, rebranded it, remodeled it, kind of changed the look and feel of the place a little bit. And a couple months ago, we opened our second one here in Mesa on the corner of Alma School and University. I've been absolutely loving being a part of Mesa now.
It's certainly been fun to have you. And we'll kind of talk about some of the stuff that you've done with us so far in your journey. But I think what we want to do is give Dan a chance to kind of give us some overview of what this whole breakfast burrito thing is about. So, Dan?
I think this whole thing got started, us just, Bob and I sharing in our love of breakfast burritos. I would go to the chamber and Bob would bring me breakfast burritos. So, and I think we got talking about how good they were and how it'd be cool to, do like a, best of breakfast burritos in the valley, because as a lot of people might not realize, like, breakfast burritos are actually a really regional thing.
Keep talking.
So, and we can, I don't know, Bob's just making gestures over here. He's just pointing at people. So, but anyways, it'd be really neat. And Bob, is the catalyst for this and decided this would make a great podcast. So we will kind of move from there. And I think that's kind of what got this going, was that. And this was months in the works.
It
finally,
really was,
and,
yeah.
Trying to make this, I think this was almost 6 or 8 months ago. We were like, we should do this. And here we are
today,
6 or 8 months later,
recording the first episode.
Doing it.
So the idea behind this is that Dan and I are going to visit chamber members that offer breakfast burritos with the intent of basically tasting their breakfast burritos. So we have today a couple of breakfast burritos with us that Dan and I will be tasting. So Craig, you want to tell us about these wondrous creations?
Sure. You guys are going to get to taste our monster burrito. We have 2 different burritos. We got a regular burrito, or if you're very hungry, it's the monster burrito. It's actually about a pound of food. Depending upon how much we stuff in there, whether it's a little bit more or a little bit less, but it's basically
as big as your head.
A pound of burrito. You should see the picture. It looks great. Yeah. You can check them out on our website. There is some pictures there.
Which is what?
RenegadeCoffeeAZ.com.
Ah, very good.
You can check that out there. Bob is going with the tried and true bacon monster burrito.
Bacon.
Dan is going for ham. He's going a little different.
Yep.
Changed it up a little bit. That's good.
Yep.
But the monster burrito is going to have potatoes, sour cream, jalapenos, tomatoes, mushrooms, spinach, eggs, cheese, and then whatever meat you want.
So you've got a full menu. I mean, obviously, we're here for the breakfast burritos today, but you've got a full menu of stuff.
Yeah, we're really a coffee shop on steroids. We have a whole lot more food than most places do. In addition to the kind of standard bakery and grab-and-go things that most people have, we actually have a full kitchen. So not only do we have a lot of food, it's actually all made to order. So your food is not coming in frozen out of a container or something. We actually cook the eggs, make the burritos right as you order them. Sometimes it takes a little bit longer to get it, but it's worth the wait. It's awful good food, awful fast. But we do breakfast, lunch, soup, salad sandwiches, breakfast sandwiches, biscuits and gravy, acai bowls, avocado toast, almost anything you can think of. Then we do have bakery as well. And kind of one of the fun things we do, we actually use 3 different local bakeries to get our products. We've got our standard bakery that brings all our regular muffins and scones and all that great stuff. And they also bring us all our breads, our pretzel buns, our croissants. So it's all fresh baked and delivered. We get a delivery 4 or 5 days a week, depending upon the week. So it's all really fresh.
Yeah.
But then we also do a cool thing. We've got a vegan bakery that's actually based out of Mesa we use called Sugarloaf Lane that brings us a variety of vegan and gluten-free products. And then we also have a keto bakery. They're actually out of the West Valley that we use, so we can have all kinds of keto bakery that are less than 2 carbs per item. So no matter what your diet is, we can pretty much take care of you here. Yeah.
That's cool. That's
awesome. That is so. You don't see that very often. And on top of that, too, one of the things that we also noticed is the variety of coffees that you guys have, and just drinks in general. Like, it's like, this is not standard coffee fare. Like, oh, come here and get a drip or get an espresso. You guys have it all, and you were so nice enough to let us sample something that you've got coming out here pretty soon. For St. Patty's Day. So we're excited about. But yeah, there are.
Yeah, tell everybody about that, because they're going to want to come here for that.
For one of the events we did for the chamber, we're not talking about this yet, but for one of them, Sally Ann requested a red drink. So we had to get creative and come up with a red drink for the Mesa Has Heart of Me. So we came up with a red drink and served that, and it went over pretty well. So Bob decided there's a chamber event on St. Patrick's Day that he really wanted a green drink for. So he said, "Can you make me a green drink for St. Patrick's Day?" So I gave him his sample of his green drink today. I guess we'll call it the Luck of the Irish Latte. Or something along those lines.
Patio latte, I think.
Patio latte.
Susan,
Patio latte.
patio latte was what Susan threw out there.
That was suggested too.
Yeah.
So that's a nice little. It's actually a matcha green tea with Irish cream in it. Very tasty.
Really
Delicious.
tasty. Yeah, it's crazy.
The red drink was delicious. I tried that as well. It's fantastic. Basically, I think the moral of the story is, if you can dream it, you guys can do it.
Yeah.
We always let our staff kind of have fun. We do a specialty drink every month that one of the staff members will have created. And they can do a latte, they can do a Red Bull drink, they can do a smoothie, whatever kind of creative thing they want to do. So this one was my idea, and it's because at our Scottsdale store, a group of Girl Scouts asked if they could sell Girl Scout cookies in front of the shop, and I said, well, of course, why not? Because who wouldn't want Girl Scout cookies at your shop?
Yeah.
So we decided to do a Girl Scout cookie battle. So right now we have a Thin Mint Latte or a Samoa Latte, and you can come and try them, and you can vote for which version of the latte, or you can just vote on which cookie you like better. And we will post updates and let people know who wins our Girl Scout cookie battle. It's going on at both stores right now in Mesa and Scottsdale, so we'll track them separately and see which store likes which cookie better, and see if anybody runs away with it.
So throw out the address for this store, for the Mesa store.
We are 1242 West University Drive here in Mesa.
And the Scottsdale store?
5959 North Granite Reef Road in Scottsdale.
Very nice. And is there future plans of growth?
Yes, technically there are.
Notice how I danced around that.
We do have a signed lease for a third location coming here. Looks like it's probably going to be early 2023. The landlord's doing the build out, getting our drive-through approved. That'll actually be on the corner of 19th Avenue and Northern.
That's not
Phoenix.
Closer to Sally's house. I'm just going to tell you that right now, because you're going to hear about that.
I'm going the wrong way. The nice thing is that one's actually closer to my house.
Yeah.
So
There you go.
it's a little less of a drive for me, so that's kind of the cool part there. But it is going to be fun to go and expand into Phoenix and get to a different market.
Yeah.
No, I bet. So, real quick, this came to us through a little birdie before we dig into these breakfast burritos. But we heard you have a background in legal.
That's maybe a bad rumor.
So tell us a little bit about that.
My old job, I was an attorney.
Uh-huh.
I got a little burnt out on it and wasn't really enjoying it.
Okay.
It was fun for a few years, and then it got just kind of be something that I wasn't enjoying doing as much, so I decided to do something different. And
Coffee?
coffee was actually my daughter's idea. She said, you should open a coffee shop. There's not any by where we live. Well, it just so happened at the time I went to look and I did some research, studied about coffee shops, learned all about them, and I do like it. This sounds fun. Went to look for a space by where I live, and when I talked to the landlord, they asked, what do you want to open? Oh, a coffee shop. Oh, we just signed a lease with the coffee shop last week. So, well, I guess I'm not opening a coffee shop here. There, and we found the one in Scottsdale, so we ended up in Scottsdale. So.
And you live on the east side or west side?
No, I live in the North Valley.
Really?
Yep.
Okay. All right.
So I drive a little ways to get to work, but
Yeah.
I kind of do a reverse commute, so it works really well.
I bet. Yeah, because you're going to get the opposite way of
And when
traffic.
you commute at like 5:30 in the morning,
Nobody's
it's really
around.
not such a bad commute. It goes pretty smooth.
So this is like a family affair. Like
Yes.
everybody's involved in the business, right?
Pretty much.
Yeah. All right. So let's get to the burrito.
Okay.
Are you ready, Dan?
Yeah, this thing's a monster. So.
All right. So
Literally.
literally we are dealing with 2 burritos, and they're the size of our collective brains,
Yeah.
and they're beautiful looking.
Yes, they are. Presentation,
served-
A for sure.
Yeah, presentation gets an A. Served. I'm going to take a picture of mine actually
All right, I think I'll do the
to
same.
put with the blog, and so it's served with a little side of salsa. Tell us about the salsa. House made.
House made. We make the salsa in house. A couple times a week it gets made.
All
Really
right.
tasty.
So Dan, what's our criteria here? Like, what are we judging? What are we talking about?
I think we're judging salsa. Obviously, that's a really important component.
Yeah.
I think presentation matters, but at the same time, like you know, sometimes you get a breakfast burrito, so maybe not as much. But I think we're gonna look for flavors. I think we're gonna look for maybe originality. I feel like we're gonna look for like those pieces. Do you meet the? I guess we got to define the criteria, right? So I think most people define criteria for breakfast burrito to usually have a tortilla. Preferably flour, I think, nowadays, eggs, some sort of meat, and cheese. And
Okay.
I know there's a lot of debate about whether potatoes are a part of it.
There's a huge debate
debate about that, so we need to definitely...
We'll talk about that.
We'll talk about that some more, but I feel like those are our criteria, right?
All right.
So,
Yep.
yeah.
That looks good to me.
Okay.
Now this is grilled.
This has been put...
This has been
Yeah, we've got
Panini-
put on the panini press.
on the panini press.
Okay.
That's the
So,
way I prefer them. So
I'm
you
a
get
fan of
choice.
that.
Kind of holds it together a little bit better,
Holds
right?
it together. The
Yeah.
outside gets a little crunchy, which
Yep.
is always just kind of
Yep.
nice.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of that.
I like it.
Dan, you want to go first, and I'll
I'll go
kind of
first.
talk
Yeah.
while you're doing your thing.
Everybody's got their way of doing it. I'm a...
So Craig has done a lot since he joined the chamber. I think the very first thing you did was the 24-hour business plan challenge. Is that?
I did go to one meeting before that.
Okay.
That's where I heard about
All right.
the 24-hour business plan challenge, which was like a week later. So yeah,
Okay.
it was-
So he actually stayed most of the night. Actually,
Yeah,
you
till
were there
about
pretty
1,
late.
1:30.
Yeah, you were there most late, which is a lot of fun. It was very good to have you because it's always nice to have entrepreneurs helping entrepreneurs, right? I mean, it's just that little added extra experience.
Yeah, the fun part for me was I really didn't know what I was going to. They just
Well-
said, coffee sponsor at some event. I went, yes. And then I learned about the event as I got there. It was a lot of fun, but it was, for me, the coolest part was I thought it was going to be some like, here's your sample packet of your business idea, give us a business plan. And what was the coolest part was, no, it was these kids' ideas
Yeah.
of their business that they wanted to do in their business plan, which just made it so much more real and
Yeah.
so much more interesting to have.
Yeah.
That. So really a cool event that the Chamber does with the community college.
So that'll happen next October. So if you want to meet Craig in person, that's one place you can see him because we'll rope him into that again.
Yeah, I'll probably get suckered into that again. I don't say no very well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the
As
chamber's
you can
pretty
tell-
good at that.
I'm
As you can tell by the
really
number
good
of
at
burritos
that.
we're having
Yeah,
here.
right. Thank you, by the way, for
Of
being
course.
our first
Thank you so much.
burrito episode guy.
Um,
What do you think?
So first bite's delicious. I think some of the things the salsa is great. It's got a really good flavor.
All right,
I think
going
it, I think it appeals to the masses really well because it's got good flavor. It's not too spicy or anything like that, so it doesn't have to deter anybody because that's another piece of breakfast burritos is how spicy do you like it sometimes. But what was great was I got all of my traditional stuff. There is potatoes in here. There is eggs. There is a great amount of cheese. And then the topper to this was I got a hit with spinach, and I just got hit with jalapenos and mushrooms, and it's like, did you take a delicious omelet and then wrap it in a
Yeah.
tortilla? Because I love it. So,
Yeah, that's what I'm feeling too. I'm feeling
Yeah.
like it's just a well-wrapped omelet. Like it's a really good piece of work.
yeah. Can you hold an omelet in your hand? Yes, you can.
Yes, you can. Yes.
Stick it in the tortilla.
You stick it in a tortilla.
And I do notice as well, vegetables are all fresh.
Yes.
Like everything looks like it literally was just prepared in that moment, which I think is fantastic.
Yeah, made to order, which is big deal there. You got to be fresh. You can't just have somebody throwing, reheated eggs at you. So yeah, huge. Love it.
Is that a mushroom on the?
There are
Oh,
mushrooms
that's a
in there.
mushroom that you're tasting. Yes, sir.
The nice thing is, if there's any of those items you don't like, since we make them to order, you just tell us you don't want those, and then they don't get put
So
in there.
it's totally custom.
Yeah, for
Yep.
those of you that are maybe a traditionalist, and that is a little different, we are trying what is called your monster burrito. You do have a traditional breakfast burrito, I would say, which is just called the burrito, which has the traditional eggs, meat, cheese, so you don't have to be so, if you don't want to be as adventurous as we are, so.
Or if you're just not as hungry, because the reality is,
Yes.
the monster burrito for lots of people is breakfast and lunch.
Yeah,
It's a lot of
this
food.
will be
Yeah.
lunch for me because
Yes,
it's
for
already
sure.
9 o'clock in the morning.
This will definitely be lunch for me.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
This is good.
So, Craig, what else should people know about Renegade?
One of the things I like to tell people and that we try to pride ourselves on is we really want to be a neighborhood coffee shop. We try to invest and become part of our neighborhoods where our coffee shops are. From the day we opened our shop in Scottsdale, we started to get involved with primarily with the schools. Because one of the things, if we can support the kids in the area, that's really something we like to do. So we got involved with the elementary school that's down the street, the high school that's down the street. We have car washes in our parking lot from all kinds of different groups, cheerleaders, the basketball team, the club soccer team, you name it. There was a stretch before COVID where it was like 11 weeks in a row we had a car wash every Saturday and some Sundays, so it was kind of fun, kind of crazy. And we're trying to do that here in Mesa as well, trying to become invested in part of our neighborhood. The Chamber's been a great way for us to get to know a lot of those neighbors because they're new to Mesa, and we've also started to get to know some of the teachers at some of the schools right down the street here. Westwood and Emerson and Carson are all right by us, so we've gotten to know a fair number of them already. And looking forward to get involved with those programs as well.
Yeah, I mean, I noticed it didn't take long for traffic to start to build.
Yeah, we're in here right now, and I mean, this place is pretty well packed. I think there's maybe 3 tables right now that are open.
Yeah.
Probably a dozen or more. So, and there's people, enjoying a variety of things.
And we have public safety is here, which
we do,
always
yeah.
tells you that that's a good place.
You got
Just
the
saying.
quote unquote boys in blue, as it were. All those. I thought it looked black to me, but anyways. So.
I won't lie, they're here almost every morning.
Are they here almost every
Well,
morning?
that's
Yeah.
good.
We're their pre-shift stop. They tend to come in and hang out with us for a bit. So,
I love it. Yeah.
which is great. We love having them here.
Yeah,
It's a good. It's funny because there's people here you can see that are here for a business meeting. There's people here that are just meeting with friends. There's people just grabbing a quick bite. I think you name it, and you're gonna fit in here. This place is great. It's vibey. I love it. I love the vibe.
Yeah.
I'm all about that. I think you guys have executed that super well. Everything is. Yeah, it's awesome.
It's really a good.
Yeah.
I love the look, the wood on the counters
Yeah,
and
on the ceilings here, we've got exposed beams. You're doing it right.
It's really nice. You did a good job.
Thanks.
Congratulations.
I didn't build any of it, but
Well, yeah,
some of
but-
it was my idea. Not all of it, but some of it was.
But it's your vision, right?
Combined vision.
All right.
And
Well,
with all good business people, Craig has been running around the consumer heads up all day, working his butt off. And yeah, we've been trying to get.
yeah,
him
we
over
were
here
trying to get
do
this thing off the ground now for about 10 minutes, for 20 minutes or so.
Yeah, easily, but he is workhorse for sure. So I have a feeling that if you come in, you're probably going to see Craig.
There's a distinct possibility I'll be around, unless I happen to be at Scottsdale.
Unless you have to be at Scottsdale, and then if that's the case, you know what? Just come here, get some coffee, and then go to the Scottsdale one and go see Craig.
It's definitely worth it. The trip is worth it to see him. So, Craig, thanks so much for joining us. Thank you for the breakfast burritos.
Thanks, guys. Enjoy.
I think they're winners.
They're definitely winners. I want to thank you for talking us into going with the monster.
Yeah,
I'm
that
going
was
to be
good.
I'm
Good
going to be
choice.
full for days, but I'm excited to get something different. I'm glad you popped us off with got us going with
Yeah, this
such
is
a
a
good
good.
burrito. For
Definitely worth your time. Get in here, try
Yeah.
this burrito, try one of the coffee drinks. Maybe talk him into giving you one of the patio lattes.
Patio latte.
Yeah,
We
come
can-
vote for your Girl Scout cookie.
Yeah, and vote for a
latte
Girl
that
Scout
you
cookie.
want.
Yep.
Alrighty, thanks, guys.
All right.
Thanks, Craig.
Enjoy the rest of your burrito.
Thank you.
This has been a Mesa Chamber of Commerce Inside Business Podcast. You can find all podcast episodes at iTunes, Spotify, or your own favorite podcast website. You can also find them online at mesachamber.org. Content of this podcast is copyright the Mesa Chamber of Commerce, unless otherwise noted.